So welcome back, everyone. We're live on Facebook, so I do want to say hi to everybody out there. My next guest has been on with me for years. I have with me Mike Salazar, and he's the owner of Pass Fire Protection. And we've got our lines open here. What I'm going to do right away is tell everybody that you're going to give away a fire extinguisher to the people that call in. You're going to enter in to win one. And I know that that doesn't sound like, wow, that's great. Actually, you'd be really happy that you won one. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yes, it's Mike. I'm with Pass Fire Protection, and we love servicing all of Arizona with fire protection needs, extinguishers, sprinklers, fire alarm, kitchen hood systems, whatever it takes. We want to go out there and educate people and keep these systems up and going so that if they are ever needed, they're going to work properly.
So what does PASS, P-A-S-S, stand for?
Well, it's simple. It's an acronym for how to use the extinguisher. So that's pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. So we tried to incorporate that in our name so it'd make it easier for people to remember how to use the extinguisher when they just think of our company name.
Well, the thing is that when there's a fire, you're not thinking about anything but, oh my God,
Yes.
Right?
Oh yeah, how do I get out of here?
I want to get out of feet, do your duty, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing that you like to do is you like to get everybody entered in to win a fire extinguisher. And you think, okay, well, you could buy one on Amazon or whatever, but yours are different, and I want you to explain the kind of fire extinguisher you give away.
Yeah, ours are going to be serviceable, so it's going to be a one-time purchase for many years. You can just keep reservicing it. Where other ones, you might have to buy it, and then once you do use it, or if it starts losing pressure, you might have to replace it, which is going to cost you more money over time. We also like to say ours is better because they come with instructions. We're going to help you guys understand the fire extinguisher and how to use it, where if you just buy it online, there's nobody there to tell you how to use it, and I don't think they give you instructions.
I'll tell you something, folks. When it seems like so easy, right? But there are instructions of how to do it, how to aim it, right?
Yep.
We talked about that. We're going to talk about that again today. So we're going to open up the lines for everyone to get entered into win. It's a higher end extinguisher, right? And our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. These are different. They're not the same. Plus, you get Mike or whoever's going to be that comes in that helps you understand how to use it and the instructions of it as well.
Yes, absolutely. An extinguisher is going to be your first line defense. There's many other things out there that can protect you from fires as well, but the extinguisher is the first line.
Right. Now, we've talked about this many times. First of all, where they should have them. Well, everybody usually has them either in their kitchen or in their garage.
Correct.
And they've probably been there for zillion years because they've probably never been, they were lucky enough not to have to use it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what happens if they accidentally have to use it and they go to use it, what happens?
Well, we hope that it's still going to work, but you never can guarantee that unless you're keeping up with the maintenance of it. You want to make sure that it's up to date, that the powder is, pliable. It's not going to be hard as a rock like the baking soda in your refrigerator, and you want to make sure that all the components are there so that when you go to use it, it's going to actually work.
Where else but on Networking Arizona are you going to get a tutorial on how to use a fire extinguisher, or what could happen if you haven't used them in a long time, or that you even need to maintain fire extinguishers? People don't know that.
No, exactly. It's kind of like the smoke detectors, right? You have to maintain those, but a lot of times they'll just remove them because they don't like them beeping instead of putting it in a battery. It's the same thing. The extinguisher, when you think about it, you had it under your sink, you knew you wanted it there, you haven't been using it, so you're going through, clean your house, now you remove that extinguisher, you throw it somewhere else, now you don't know where it's at.
Right, and most people don't know where they're at, or if they go to use it, they don't work.
Yeah, or they don't even know how to use it. They pick it up and then they're like, oh wait, what am I supposed to do with this?
And now we've got our lines open here, so everyone's getting entered in to win. This is a higher end fire extinguisher that you're not going to get this on Amazon, cheapy, whatever. You don't want one like that. You want one to protect your home and your valuables. You want one that's better quality. So we've got our lines open here, and our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. His website is PASS, that's PASS, Fire fireprotection.com. You do work statewide, you are statewide, and you're also rated with the Better Business Bureau as well. Now, where should people have them besides their kitchen and their garage?
We strongly believe people should have them in their cars, especially if you're getting these electric cars. We just found out that they're starting to come out with extinguishers that would fight the batteries that are on those cars, so it's gonna be crucial, to have that to be prepared. We believe you should have them in your garage by your flammable storages, which would be your paint, your lacquer thinners, fuel for your lawnmowers and weed eaters and stuff like that. You should have it inside your house so that you can easily get to it around your kitchen.
How about the barbecue? We've talked about that.
Yep, your barbecue.
I know one that blew up from a guy that blew up by accident, and it was terrible.
It is, and we put those barbecues right next to the house, right? So when it catches on fire, it catches your house on fire. We don't keep them separated far enough so that if it just caught on fire, it would, catch itself on fire only. But yeah, usually we want it pretty close to where we're getting our food from, so then it causes a lot of damage.
Also boats, that's another one that they should be in.
Boats, all the recreational vehicles, the stuff they're taking out, just anywhere that there could be a fire, and fire can be anywhere,
And the thing is that there's certain ways of using your fire extinguisher.
Yes.
And you've come on here for years, and you like to offer for everyone to get entered into win. This is a special fire extinguisher, not just one cheapy little one. It's a bigger one that you get. And our number here is 602-277-5369. I want to talk a little bit about the fires and how fast that they can, especially one in your kitchen, a grease fire. The worst.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, grease fires, candles by drapes, curtains. There's certain light bulbs that get pretty hot that can catch stuff on fire. And when your house catches on fire, it can go up pretty quickly.
Very quickly.
So
I know somebody who lost their entire home.
Yes.
When their child, it was an accident. They was playing with something, and guess what? The whole house ended up burning down.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when you are going to go pull, aim, sweep, and squeeze and sweep, you don't know how to do it. That's another thing that's really important, because there is a way, and I've asked you this many, many, many times, of where should they aim, because a lot of people think right at it, and that's not really the way.
No, you always want to aim at the base of the fire so that when the chemical hits, it's going to hit and then cover. If you aim at it, you're going to shoot right past it. And remember, when something goes into fire in your house, it's not like a commercial building where we have these fire alarm systems that are going to automatically call the fire department. You'll have to stop and call the fire department. Your neighbor's going to have to call the fire department. Somebody's going to have to call the fire department for you, which delays the response time by them. So it's very important that we have something in place that we can help mitigate or try to contain a little bit so everybody can get out of the house. Remember, time is of essence, and the more we waste, the less time we have getting out of that house.
And most of you probably don't even know that you have a fire extinguisher, yet don't even know if they really work. And I think that is the scariest part of all, because a lot of people, might have one from years and years and years ago, and they lug it along wherever they go, to every house that they're in, and it probably doesn't even work.
Oh, probably. They probably don't even know where it's at. It's probably still somewhere until you spring clean, unless you're actively looking at it, you're not going to know where it's at or where to find it, and you don't even know where you placed it.
Well, even in an office building,
Yes.
even I guarantee you, even here, people don't know where it is.
No.
Because you don't even, and I'm sure we walk by it maybe all the time,
Yep.
but we don't see it.
Yes.
For some reason, we just don't look at it, so
Well,
we don't
think
see
about
it.
it because it's not our business, right?
Uh-huh.
So we don't think about it. It's like when you buy a car for the first time, you think nobody else has it, and you start driving, you're like, oh my God, I've never seen these cars on the road, now I see them everywhere.
Well, and that, I want to talk about electric cars when
Yeah.
we get back to. Huge, come on, Tesla.
Yeah.
They do happen, and they've happened quite often. And I've seen a lot more, especially we live here in Arizona, cars go on fire, and they don't have to be old cars for that to happen.
No, semi-trucks. I don't know how many times I go from here to Tucson and I'll see on the side of the road some semi just going up in flames. All kinds of vehicles are always catching on fire.
It's just terrible. So, you should have one in your car, you should have one in your kitchen, in your garage, you should have one outside by the barbecue, on your boat. I mean,
Yep.
we just hear time and time and time again of people getting hurt, and here you don't even know if one even works when you have one. So, you can call here and get entered in to win. This is a special one that you're gonna get. It's not the size of the little ones on Amazon. It's very
Yep.
different than that. And the cool thing is that it's gonna last longer because you can maintain it and you can change it up every, how long should they do that? Every what?
Every 6 years, they should go through a maintenance. It's gonna last longer because once you get this extinguisher, you're gonna have a relationship with us or other people that know how to maintain these. If you buy it offline, who do you take it to if you need something done?
Did you know that you needed to do that? Not very many people do. So you check them out on their website. It's passfireprotection.com. And we're going to leave our lines open here for everyone to keep on calling throughout the rest of the show. Our number here, 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Hang tight. We'll be back in just a minute. Keep on going here.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about anything that I'm not getting to?
No, I think everything's good. I mean,
I like
I
it.
also think of some new products that are coming out because I do know.
What is that?
Well, we went to some place and somebody's
There's a
selling.
fire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody's selling something that you could plug into a house that will monitor your stove. And so if your stove catches on fire, it'll like turn it off. But I don't know everything about it yet. So.
Do you not want to talk about it?
No, but I'll bring it in next time. So
Okay.
I have all the right information.
Okay, so
about
not
it.
this time,
But I think
okay.
that would be helpful for elderly.
Very,
for
very, oh
kids.
my God, that's huge. And you're gonna have that product?
Well, we could get it, yeah, we just got introduced to it, it's like, wow, I didn't even know this existed, you know, just like anybody, you don't know what's out there
Yeah.
until you do know.
No, I know. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I think everything's going well, I mean, it never changes, that's the thing about our industry, right, it's always the same, and people pay more attention, like when there's these California fires, when you don't hear anything, you don't think anything, right?
Right.
So when you start hearing this stuff, then it becomes more in front of your mind and your thoughts.
Right. Well, I think what's really, really sad is that people just don't think it's ever gonna happen to them, you
Yep.
know? And unfortunately, I know, like I said, out of the blue, this person's barbecue blew up,
Oh, yeah.
you know? And he was hurt, but not, thankfully not terribly, but he was hurt. And I mean, it just happens so fast and so easy, you know?
Yeah.
And people don't realize what they need to do and that they should be, everybody, there's certain things that everybody should be aware of and we should all have it, but we don't.
Well, exactly, and if you think about it, we've all heard stories where the fire department has burned. I mean, these guys that fight fires on a day-to-day basis, and yet they're still having fires in their own fire station.
I know,
So
isn't
it
that
doesn't
weird?
discriminate, you know what I mean?
No,
It'll happen
because
to
it can
anybody.
happen to anybody. We're gonna talk about that. I don't think we've ever talked about that.
So,
Is that you?
I saw,
No, that's not
no,
you. I have your ad running.
yeah, I've heard it before. It's
Yeah.
good. Those are hard to do too, because you have to speak so fast, you get so much information.
But yours is good.
It's funny, because ever since you told me how the commercials work, I never paid attention to that before. But now even like if I listen to a podcast, I notice there's like 3 to 5 minutes in the beginning, and then they'll do this like 3. I'm like, oh my God, I
And
never paid attention to that.
But podcasts are a little bit different because they're recorded, so
Yeah.
it's you get a little bit more
Yeah.
depending on the podcast really. But here we go.
Yeah.
So welcome back. Well, with everybody else, just like anything, I always talk to Facebook land out there with the guests that are on for the longer times, and I just love doing that. And Mike Salazar is the owner of Past Fire Protection. You've been coming on for years, and I appreciate you doing that. I also appreciate that you are there to protect your gear for people to learn and use these fire extinguishers and lots more
Yes.
as well. I know that we give away fire extinguishers, but what else do you also do, at your company?
Well, we maintain fire sprinkler systems. Some people have them in their homes, many people have them in the commercial buildings, so we'll go and do the inspections and service them and repair them as needed. We also look at fire alarm systems like we talked about earlier. which is going to call these fire departments if something's going wrong, so that you don't have to worry about that first step of getting them out and going while you're dealing with everything that's going on. We deal with kitchen hood systems, which, you know, primarily in like these food trucks, which now is a huge food truck industry now, and it's nice and cool. They're out there. When it gets hot, there's not so many of them, but you know, we help service and maintain those so that they can keep cooking and go to all the events that they go to. So we deal with anything that really deals with fire and life safety. We try to maintain those services and systems to keep people, you know, working and keep people alive.
Safe, alive. And he also loves to keep you alive and you safe, because he is offering for everybody to get entered in to win. It is a special fire extinguisher. Tell them exactly what it is, so, because somebody might have just tuned in after the break.
Oh yeah, you know, we don't usually recommend the 2.5 pounds, the small ones. We usually go with the 5 pounders because it's going to be more of a protection for you. You know, we'd say they're unique, but one of the reasons why they're unique is because you're in Arizona, we're in Arizona. If you're starting to buy stuff online, who are you going to go to when you have problems? At least if you contact us and there's issues, you know how to get back in touch with us so we can help resolve those or help work through them or help navigate any of the questions you may have. But again, remember, if you're online, there's not going to be anybody, or maybe it's a chat person or whatever, they're not going to know what to do.
That's nice.
Oh yeah, well, support Arizona, right? That's why it's Network in Arizona. We're
Exactly.
here, you're here, let's keep it here.
Exactly. Now, also, they are maintainable, which is also different, and if you need to use it, it can be refilled,
Yep.
which you can't on those other ones either. Now, so we've got our lines open here for everyone to get entered into win a fire extinguisher. And believe me, I know it's not a weed whacker at $19.95, but
No.
you know what? It can save your life,
Oh,
and it
absolutely.
will. And you said that's the first line of defense is using your fire extinguisher
Yeah.
and knowing how to do it. Tell them what pass means, and then whatever, and how to do it.
Yes, pass is pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. So pull that pull pin that's keeping the extinguisher from going off accidentally. One of the hardest things to do for people because they're panicking, they're squishing the handle, making it hard to pull that pull pin out. But we need to pull the pin. We need to aim that fire extinguisher at the base of the fire. Squeeze the handle, and then start sweeping back and forth until the fire extinguishes. And that just is a simple acronym to help you remember. It is a simple process, but if you don't practice, if you don't think about it, if you don't know it, and you're panicking, it's going to be one of the hardest things that you're going to do.
Absolutely. So call in here and get yourself entered in to win a fire extinguisher, and also you're going to get him to be able to tell you how to do it, because you're going to teach them when they get it.
Yeah, and then you have the support of somebody that's local versus trying to go online and try to figure this all out.
And our number here is 602-277-5369. You can check him out on his website. It's PASS, P-A-S-S, fireprotection.com. Now, at the break when we were talking, one of the things that you mentioned is that even fire stations go up in smoke.
Yeah, we've all heard the stories, and it's funny that, you know, you hear these firemen, they sleep there, they're stationed there, they work there. These are guys that fight fires all the time, but yet a fire still occurs in their own house. So it just tells you a fire does not discriminate.
No.
We don't know when it's gonna happen, we don't know where, what time, any of that stuff. We just know that it has the potential to always happen. So we all need to be prepared.
We do, and that's what I love about the fact that you come on here and you help people by being prepared, and that we have so many different people that come on this show like you, and I really appreciate and know
Yes.
that that's what I love about my show the most, is that it is all this great information. And where would you not even, who would ever talk about something like this on any other show, to be honest with you? So it's important for people to be safe and to be protective, be proactive, and get yourself entered in to win a fire extinguisher. And these are not those little teeny ones.
No.
This is a nice one that's you can use over and over and over again. How long, let's say somebody does, I don't know how many people have one like yours in their home, probably very little.
Yeah, you know, they probably.
Most of them bought those little dinky ones.
Well, they buy the ones that's most affordable, right? I mean,
Right.
anybody, we go shopping, we're like, hey, and they bring up 1,000,000 of them, and you're like, oh, that one's $5, and that one's $30, so let me pick the $5 one.
Right.
You know, if you're even buying
What's
them.
the difference between them?
Well, probably the way that they're manufactured and the way, you know, if one has a plastic head on it, let's just say, for instance, that's gonna be like a one-time use because you can't refill, you can't recharge it. The plastic in this heat will start to degrade, you know what I mean? Anything plastic with this heat just starts falling apart versus metal. Ours have metal heads, it's a stouter body, you know what I mean? It's just made for commercial use, which we can put in homes, it's not.
Well, the heat is upon us, it's gonna come any
Yes.
minute. And, you know, lots of fires happen in our garages. Look at we've
Yeah.
talked about Jay Leno, he had a nice fire, he got hurt.
Yes, and all these chargers that we have now, we're plugging in more stuff into our outlets than we ever had before, right? Most of our houses aren't built to handle the amount of electricity that we're using, especially if you have a house like mine that was built in the 50s. You know, there's hardly any outlets. Now we're putting extension cords and we're putting cords into cords, and we're just trying to plug in our chargers and our toothbrushes and our whatever. You know, we have so much more stuff that we're plugging in that's taxing our electrical systems.
Let's talk about the electrical cars. I wanna talk
Yeah.
about that, cause I know that the owner of Tesla's listening to my show right now.
Oh, of
So,
course.
let's go ahead and talk about those.
Yeah, you know, it's new technology. With new technology, we're still trying to figure out what to do with it, you know, and then when those batteries catch on fire, it was a hard thing. Nobody knew how to really fight it and combat it, but now they're starting to get new technology, like I mentioned earlier. They're starting to come out with some extinguishers that are able to fight that lithium ion battery, which is really important because before, there really wasn't anything that would help you fight it. Now we have something. That's what you're really gonna wanna have in your car, because when you're out on the road, there's nobody by you. And if you've ever called the services, like I've dialed 911 a few times, it's a pain to get them to understand exactly where you're at to get somebody
I didn't know
there.
that. See, now on television, they know exactly where you are, but
Oh.
that's what TV is different
Oh,
than
way
real
different.
life.
Yeah.
Really? So
Oh,
how
yeah.
long? I didn't know that. I would think that with GPS, they would all know where everybody is.
No, you're trying to explain where you're at, and if you're in the middle of nowhere and you didn't remember what the last mile marker is, how are you gonna know how to tell them where to get to you if your car is the one that's
I'm the
catching
one
on
that,
fire?
oh my God, I'm the worst when
Yeah.
it comes to that. Oh my gosh.
And you'll tell them, you know, I'm right here off the 101, or I'm close over here to the 202, or I'm by Cactus.
And
or-
you're sitting there trying to tell
Yeah.
them where you are. Meantime, your car is going up in flames.
Exactly, you know, so it's gonna take a while for anything to really get over there and help you out. So if you can help yourself, all the more better for you.
First line of defense, you said, is
Yeah.
the fire extinguisher. So we've got everyone getting entered in to win one, and our number here is 602-277-5369. Check him out on his website. It's passfireprotection.com. Pull, aim, sweep, and squeeze. Or
Squeeze
and sweep.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey,
it's
if
the
it's
two
two
S's.
S's, yeah.
And you do also for companies, do you ever come in and do classes and things like that for them if
Oh,
they
yeah.
want? Listen
Yeah.
to this, guys.
We train businesses
Everybody should be
too.
doing it.
They should, and it's important. There's a lot of people on construction sites that have to have fire extinguishers present while they're building the buildings, and they have to get certified to know how to use them in case something happens there. And then office people should know how to use them as well, and where they're located, like you said, so that you're comfortable, because you might look at this thing day after day, but you never picked it up. You don't know how heavy it is, or maybe how light it feels to you. You just have no idea until you physically pick it up and then try to pull that pin and then sweep, and then pull that handle so you can see what it feels like to use that extinguisher. So there's,
What do people
Yeah.
realize when it's just they're heavy?
yeah, they're a lot heavier than they think, and then the mess, I mean, they don't realize what that powder does when you squeeze it, you know what I mean, and how much of a cloud smoke it is, and they're like, whoa, you know, they just never saw it, because again, most of the information we get is off Hollywood, TV, commercials, and a lot of that's not necessarily accurate.
No, it's not. You know for sure.
Yeah.
But when that happens, and do you want a lot, or do you want it to be able to aim it so that it goes direct? How does it work? I mean, I don't
Yes.
know. I've never had
Yeah,
to
we
do
try
it
to
yet.
not use the whole thing right away because you want it to have value in it, but it doesn't take much for these extinguishers to put out a fire. So the squeeze, you know, we squeeze and we kind of let go, and then we see what's happening, and squeeze and let go. Again, these things are powerful, and they put out fires pretty quickly, and so you don't want to blow the whole extinguisher up unless you really need to, so
Mhm.
that you don't create as much of a mess, or you can breathe. I'm telling you, depending on where you do this, if you've ever seen one go off, it creates this smoke cloud that it can be overwhelming sometimes, or it can freak you out.
Yeah, well, I also wanna talk about those little ones, cause I'm sitting here thinking, the little ones probably cannot put out a big fire.
No, exactly. And remember, with lithium batteries, if they're coming out with these extinguishers, you're gonna wanna get them in your garage too.
And you're gonna wanna make sure that you are being proactive and everyone's getting entered in to win a fire extinguisher. This is a special one, it's different than the ones, little one that you're gonna get on Amazon. And the thing is that it can be maintained, it can be reused, and that's what's really nice about it. So we've got our lines open here, and our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. All you realtors out there, give it to people who buy a home. It'd be the nicest gift you ever gave to them.
Yes.
Gift of life. Again, you can check them out on their website. It's PASS, P-A-S-S, fireprotection.com.